Joseph Newgard.
Live from the heart of Crimson Tide Country. Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC. It's the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier Houston. Hosted by 1992 national champion fullback Martin Houston and his son Xavier. This is your daily dose of Alabama football. Straight, smart, and full of that Tuscaloosa pride. Now, here are your hosts, Martin and Xavier Houston. Listen now on the Tide 100.9 app.
Woo! Roll Tide, baby! Roll Tide! Maybe. Roll Tide. We didn't say roll over them. We did roll. Unfortunately, we rolled over. Oh, man. I know there's a lot of disappointment out there in Tide Nation. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you we're going to open up the therapeutic hotline. The Empowerment Leadership and People Solutions hotline is going to double as the therapeutic hotline for the Alabama Nation. X and I are prepared, but we know that you have comments, you have thoughts, etc. And Xavier gonna be a bad cop. I'm gonna be good cop today. I'm gonna try to find some good out of it. Gonna try to keep us all from jumping off the ledge today. So we're gonna have we'll have some good, bad, and ugly. I don't know if we had a lot of good. Unfortunately, I was hoping we didn't have any ugly and maybe not much bad, but we did act. So we'll jump right into it. Reminding you that this is a day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. We got Curtis Moore II. Good morning, sir. What's up? We got Tim Richardson. Several of you guys communicated with me over the weekend. He told me this needs to be a 4-hour show because things need to be discussed. Amen. Oh, Rusty Dent. Good morning to you, Rusty. This Garage. Good morning, Bam Bam 72. Oh, good morning, Jason Rutledge saying we got rolled. Axis, the therapy has started. Blind Squirrel Sport chickened out. He was going to pick Florida State 28-24, I think, was going to be his score. He chickened out. Tim Richardson. Oh, X, we'll jump on Timothy Robinson's statement. Let me see. No dressing up this pig. This was a disaster, but God is good. Oh, my goodness. Oh, we got some more comments we'll get to, X, but good morning, man. How you doing?
Good morning. You know, I think I picked the best weekend to go on vacation. So at least I didn't have to drown in my sorrows after that loss.
Ouch. Yeah, Tim Richardson said that was the worst defensive showing I've seen by a team in a very, very long time. Whew, man. Y'all, hey, roll Tide, guys. I hadn't got, let me see. Has anybody said roll Tide? Let me see. I'm going to, no, roll Tides. Come on, Bama Nation. Hey, I'm having PTSD, the first world kind, because I do not want to make light of those who really suffer from PTSD. Thank all of those who have served and servants that suffer from that, but on a much, different type of scale. I'm suffering some little PTSD, X. You know what I'm feeling?
What's that?
I'm feeling Bill Curry all over again. And I ain't talking about from the coach's standpoint. I'm talking about from the fan standpoint. Come on, y'all. Let's hang in there just a little bit. It's just game one.
post-traumatic saving disorder.
That's right. Oh man, we do have PTSD, post-traumatic saving disorder. Oh man. All right, X. Before we get to the phone line, we got a couple people. We're gonna jump in, get them in. It's already getting started there, so we'll we'll work it in. X, you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, you broke up. Yeah, who's jumping in on the hotline?
You. I said you go ahead first.
Oh, me go ahead first. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it's Saturday, man. The what a roller coaster of emotions. You know, that first drive, we came out like, hey, I'm liking it. I'm seeing some good things. You know, getting the ball out to Bernard, get 3 running backs getting touches on the first drive. Kevin Riley was a little bit of a surprise early on. And then, hey, defense came out. Thought we were going to have us a 3-and-out and a holding call, which it was never explained who the holding was on. They got the ball, and they got to continue that drive, and it was downhill after that. Yeah, so, a lot of emotions, a lot of places that we can get on when it comes down to the offensive line, the defensive line, play calling, situational. Jalen Miro cannot be your scapegoat anymore. So, we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to let Pat know before he calls in. I am over the Caden Parker hype.
Whew. Okay. All right. Let's open up the therapeutic lines. X is bad cop. I'm good cop today. So y'all just bear with me. I probably agree with probably just about everything that's going to be said, but I'm going to try, Chase. I'm going to try to step into my pastoral counsel role so we keep everybody into at least to game 2.
Amen.
We have fans show up this Saturday. Maybe we can get Wisconsin and get Georgia, and then maybe we'll feel better. So I guess the question is, the potential is maybe we lose to this team early and then we right the ship. Okay. Anyway, Alan, you're in on the empowerment, leadership, and people solutions therapeutic line. What's on your mind, sir?
Oh man, look, I retired from trucking about 6 months ago. I think I should have kept one of them on the side just in case this happens. Cause I saw it coming. Martin, I told y'all I was not sold on that quarterback. I was not sold on the quarterback. He had like he was the same quarterback when he played against UCF. He couldn't determine what he wanted to do with the ball. Several times he could have ran for the first down and he threw it. Our defense is atrocious. I mean, we wouldn't. I don't know what's wrong with that. I mean, in the offense, we ran the ball. What did we have? 55 yards on the first series, and then we had 88 yards for the whole game or something like that. Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You run the ball. And we had when Coach Saban said the culture has changed, he saw something that everybody that we all saw Saturday. The culture has changed. They were undisciplined. They act like they didn't know what they wanted to do. The game plan was simple for Florida State, and they didn't vary from it. It was just like we didn't. I mean, it was like we didn't know what we wanted to do out there. At no point in time. I still like the coach, but I just think the offense. He's 18 now. Yeah, he's 18, 19 years old now. Surprised they didn't say that. But he wasn't catching the ball either.
They did.
I mean, come on. We had like there was no sense of urgency. Everybody was looking for everybody else to make a big play, and the only one showed up was Bernard to me. I'm not going to jump off the ship, and I'm not going to jump off the Warrior Bridge yet. But they've got to do something different this week. If not, Georgia's going to blow them out the water. Wisconsin's going to blow them out the water, and ULM is going to give them a good game.
Well, and I'm gonna say thanks, Alan. I appreciate that. I would say this, X. I still don't feel like we automatically say these other teams on both sides of the water. I don't know if that's the case. There's a theme with our 5 losses. Wisconsin doesn't have it. Georgia doesn't have it. So that's why 2 things. One, we weren't on the road, and 2, they don't run dual threat mobile style quarterbacks. This is this team's kryptonite. They don't know how to get this coaching staff don't know how to get them ready for the road, and this defense and the scheme cannot stop a physical downhill running game. I have been saying it for years, Xavier, that if I was an offensive coach, I would line up and be a physical running game, because it is to this new style defenses, these 3-3-5s and all that. It's the option. People used to run the option. Vanderbilt ran the option against us to make the games close because they didn't have the talent. Well, take a talented team and give them this type of offense against us or against any 3-3-5. What did we do in the first drive, X?
We ran it down the third.
What did we do the rest of the game? We weren't sure. Do we want to be a running team or want to be a passing team? I want to play a piece of audio on the other side of something Coach said, and I don't know if we have an answer to it. I don't know if they have an answer to it. So your thoughts, and then we'll get to break. Thank Alan bringing it on the first call on Empowerment Leadership and People Solutions Hotline. Alan, hope you'll call back later on the week and feel a little bit better. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Alan. This team needs to find an identity and stick to it. And I think this week, all jobs are open until they find a group that they feel like they can win with.
Yeah, I will say this. I was all in. This is not going to be the good cop. I was all in on Ty Simpson because I thought he had addressed the one thing that concerned me. I thought he had addressed the lights because he did it at scrimmage. But as that game went along, he became more and more hesitant to pull the trigger. Actually, you had a stat. I don't know where you got it from, but if you're going to refer to that on the other side, I'll give room for that. But I want to tell you, and someone said it here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh man. Oh, I can't. I'll find that thought on the other side. But it was rough. Oh, MHS 0407 said, I thought I saw the second coming of Blake Barnett Saturday. Definitely better than Blake Barnett, but as that game went along, it was a couple times they showed him, and I thought, looks like a deer in the headlights. What's going on? And it just progressed from there. So we'll continue to talk about it right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. You're listening to the Sound of Bama Sports, your show, your team. That's the Martin Houston Show. Martin and Xavier. Powered by Fox Eye Care. We'll be back on the other side to keep the conversation rolling.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. You're traveling north on Highway 69 from Old Greensboro Road to Skyland Boulevard. It's a 7-minute drive. And also east on McFarland from Coker to Jack Warner Parkway, a 13-minute drive. Crews are continuing work on Skyland Boulevard from I-359 to Buttermilk Road. Also construction on Old Birmingham Highway from 55th Avenue to Kennedy Mill Road. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Lisa Baque.
Weather brought to you by Tidwell Chiropractic, the only third-generation chiropractor All right, perfect, and to put you in a spot where you got to be perfect.
At 752-7503.
Shop Townsend Nissan today. Fair,
stress
fun,
on the guys to
and
make
fast.
every play
The right products
becomes
at
greater
the
and
right
greater.
place.
And,
that's why people shop
I
Townsend
choose to believe we got a
Nissan.
good football team,
Tuscaloosa.
This is the Bosch man.
we can't play on our heels.
I had
Like,
some
we're not gonna be
amazing
what we
words of
think we
wisdom
can
I
be,
wanted to give to
what we
everybody
wanna
today.
be.
But most people
If
just
that's
want to
the
hear our
case, and
song. So
you know,
here it
that
is.
falls on-
Outlets sparking, lights are glowing. Don't do it yourself, or you'll be glowing. Call Taylor Electric. We do it all. Taylor Electric. Give the Bosch man a call.
Call or text 205-553-0958.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, and responding to Jim's long emails. Leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC at dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Get your football weekend started early with Fridays at the Free. I'm Gary Harris, and I'll broadcast my show live from Innisfree Irish Pub every Alabama game weekend from 9 to 11 a.m. on Friday mornings. So we'll get the jump on everybody else, and you'll be ready to start the weekend as soon as Innisfree opens at 11 a.m. With 2 bars, TVs everywhere, and outdoor seating as well, there's only one Innisfree Irish Pub. Often imitated but never duplicated. Fridays at the Free with me, Gary Harris, this fall at Innisfree Irish Pub, 1925 University Boulevard in Tuscaloosa.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com, or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Sky partially sunny today. A few spots could see a shower this afternoon or this evening. The high today 86, the low tonight 66. For tomorrow, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, scattered showers around during the day. The high 85. I'm James Spann with the Alabama Weather Network on Tide 100.9. It's 71 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Yeah. All right. Had some opportunities to get back in the game there. Name of the game is that we can't be hesitant early on. Okay, we got to start faster in all ways. Yes, I know we went down and scored first drive, pieced some plays together, and found a way to put it in the end zone. But just the next couple series, both sides of the ball, we got to do a better job. And we had opportunities there in the second half. But we gave them life. We gave them hope and confidence in the first half there. And then what it does is it puts you in a spot where you got to be perfect. You know, you're playing from behind, and you got to be perfect. And you know, the stress on the guys to make every play becomes greater and greater. And you know, I choose to believe we got a good football team. But you know, we can't play on our heels. Like, we're not going to be what we think we can be, what we want to be. If that's the case. And so, again, that falls on everyone. I don't just point the finger at the players. You know, gave the I know both sides of the ball. I mean, you kind of know what you're going to see, but going into the game. But you know, with new coordinators, But we gotta, we talked in the locker room. There's no excuse about what happened. We step on the football field. They step on the football field, and we got to play ball. We got to play our style of ball. And last year isn't this year, and it's going to be an uphill climb for us. But you can't think of it in the big scope of things. You got to focus on the moment, and the next moment is what happens tomorrow. And we'll find out. We'll find out. We've talked all along about the chemistry on this team, and talked about how close we are, and how hard we've worked, doing a lot of the right things. But we'll find out. We'll find out if that sticks.
Thanks, Coach. Chase. All I can tell you is that was a coach who was as shocked by his team's performance as we were. He said, when a coach says, I want to believe that we are, I choose to believe that we're a good team, tells you that he just couldn't believe what he saw. I'm serious. And then he says our style. Well, what is Bama's style? We got Kenneth Smith III who's joined the conversation, but Robert's been patient on the phone, so we're gonna get Robert in first. Robert, welcome in on the Empowerment, Leadership, and People Solutions Hotline, therapeutic hotline. Robert, was that coach as shocked as we were? I mean, did that sound like a guy that was as shocked as we were with what he saw?
That's the bad part about DeBoer. You look at his mannerisms and everything on the sidelines. He was compared to other coaches. He reminds you of Wade Phillips, or back in the day with Dallas. You don't seem like you know what you're doing. It seems like everything's a shock to you. It's like you're clueless. It seems like you don't know how to handle the moment. I've gotten to the point now I'm just not interested in hearing them anymore. I want to see you. I don't care what you say anymore. It's show me what you're doing. I got to see what you're doing. What you say is meaningless. It's what the product going to feel that matters. That's how I mean. Is what you say is fine if you're going to back it up, like Florida State's quarterback. Yeah, if you go back to what you say, then I'll listen to you next time. Hey, dude, I may need to listen to you more. You back that up. Or Tim Brando. I think I need to listen to Tim Brando more with his Alabama criticism. I thought it was hatred, but now it's starting to look like, hey, well, shit really is, because it's criticism when it's true.
Tim's going to say the hatred, and if it bears out to be true, he looks good. But he going to hate regardless of what. He hated on Saban, so. But let me ask you this, Robert. Mm-hmm. I know we've talked a lot, and I want to get Kennington's and X's thought. Is that Florida State team, though, is it possible that they could be one of the better teams in the country based on what we saw Saturday, and it's not all Alabama?
Well, that's another problem. We don't know, because we have seen Alabama lose to bad teams as well. Right. Bad teams under Kalen DeBoer. And so we don't know. Now, in the past, we would say, oh, boy, that Florida State team's going to be really good. And I got to watch them. They're going to be really good, because Alabama don't lose to bad teams. Kalen DeBoer's Alabama loses to bad teams. But Kalen DeBoer's Alabama is, 1-4 in the last outings? 5-5. 5-5? In the last 10 years. Yeah, we have to separate now Kalen DeBoer's Alabama and Nick Saban's Alabama. He wants to coach like he's still got Bryce Young on his team. He wants to coach like that, but so far he hasn't realized, no, you don't have Bryce Young. Bryce Young's not there. You don't have that kind of quarterback. So you have to manage the game better. You have to see what you got and manage the game better. You got a game manager, manage the game around that. Oh, like you guys said, you abandon the run after one series. You're 55 yards in one, and then you're 30-something on the rest of them. And the stats tell you, like you said, Martin, there's a trend. The trend is when every loss, we're less than 100 yards rushing. Every single loss. Every win, we're over 130 yards rushing. Sometimes 150, sometimes 200 yards rushing. And every time we lose, the other team rushes for well over 100 yards. There's your trend. Now do something about it. I have no confidence in this team right now. I have no confidence in Kalen DeBoer. I have no confidence in this team. You know the word instill confidence? It's not my job. I don't have to have confidence in you. It's your job to instill confidence in me about you. That's what has to happen in this situation. You know, I'm always feeling like a spouse who have been cheated on so many times. After a while, I had to realize, hey, that just may be how you are, and maybe we don't need to be together anymore.
Thanks, Robert. Robert just
Robert
slipped in, get rid of Coach. He just that made. Oh, I did not realize that. Did you hear what Robert just did? KS3. I think he just said we need to divorce Kalen DeBoer. That may be the smoothest call for a coach's job I've ever seen. What's up, KS3? What's on your mind, man?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many thoughts and so many ways that we can go with this conversation. But I will say to what he said about what DeBoer said, it goes back to something that I grew up hearing, something I still live by today, which is I can't hear what you're saying because I can see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't matter what Kalen DeBoer says at this point, or what he said after Saturday, because this is what Alabama has become. You ask what Alabama is. What Alabama is a team that says one thing and does another. How many times last year did we hear awesome week of preparation, best Tuesday practice we ever had, all of this energy, all of this excitement, all of this focus, and then they go on the field and it is the exact opposite of that. And then going into this game, right? Thomas Castellanos is popping in saying Nick Saban can't save him. And what do we hear from the Alabama side? Oh, the disrespect will be addressed accordingly. It's like, it's right, because Castellanos was the one doing the addressing. And Alabama didn't answer that call. That's the disappointing part about it. So I think that's what frustrates fans the most is we hear these great things. We hear all this off-season buzz about these players, and we hear how everything is so great behind the scenes. And then the actual product doesn't live up to that. It's hard to buy goodwill with your words when the actions are consistently not matching up.
X.
I agree. Like the talk is cheap now. There's no other way to put it. Talk is cheap, but we got to see action. We have seen time and time again on the road what our deficiencies are, and the crazy part is each loss to me has gotten a little worse than the previous one. You look at that Vanderbilt game and you go, okay, we put up 30-something points, and our defense can stop anybody. But the offense did good. Then it was offense was bad, defense was better. Then Oklahoma, like you just go down with Oklahoma, defense was horrible, offense was horrible. And it just continued that trend of offense not putting up points, defense getting ran through like a wet paper bag. What's going to change? Who's going to be the guy? I feel like when Alabama lost games, and I hate doing this, but when Alabama lost games up under Nick Saban, you saw players stepping up, players calling out other players and handling business. You do not see that with this team.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, to X's point, it's just like, and then it's like, in addition to what he said about each loss is getting worse, the effort is getting worse. Every loss, like, it's like the morale is decreasing by the loss. I think the Michigan one was like the one that really stands out. It's like Alabama's whole team plays, Michigan's opt-outs don't play. They have way more energy than Alabama. It's like, okay, you can maybe write that off. It's just a bowl game. Then they come into this game, and Florida State just had way more fire than Alabama. I think that's what I have seen most fans say, and I agree with it, is Alabama fans can accept a loss. If the team plays up to a certain standard and it's just, you know what, we lost this game, shake their hand. Like, if they went out there and played an awesome game against Florida State and Florida State was just better, I think you can live with that. But what you can't live with is a lack of effort, right? I mean, there's been so many clips on the internet of jogging and running away from contact and not finishing tackles and getting dragged. And it's just a lack of effort. I mean, how many players could you honestly say went out there and just from your eyes played with the full effort and the energy that you would expect out of the Alabama team. You could probably count them on one hand. You might not use all your fingers. So I think that's the part that's the most frustrating. It's like, not only are they losing, it's how the losses are being carried out. This is not a team that is playing with the requisite urgency that these other teams are playing with, and that's the disheartening part.
Yeah, it's tough to watch, and we're going to get Chuck on the other side. Chuck Hunt, thanks for your patience for holding. We'll get you on the other side. And to me, I guess the question kind of is, does this team, the Unbreakables, do they have enough within them? Does this coaching staff and others have enough within them to right the ship? Can they figure it out? I mean, I just didn't see what I was expecting to see from a play calling standpoint, from an execution standpoint. I will give out, you need to shout out Jeremy Bernard because the dude balled out. Seemed like he wanted to be there. Enrico Scott didn't have a lot of opportunities, but it seemed like he wanted to be there. Kevin Riley wanted to be there. And I can't dog the running backs. To me, the running backs all tried.
Yeah, I agree.
According to a couple, Bam Bam 72 said it best. Once again, all hype surrounding this O-line, and once again, they don't live up to it. We have to talk about those things. You have to address where this team is at. They have an uphill climb. Can they right the ship? Because I have been a part of something really embarrassing, and it was enough to catalyze us to change things. Can this happen for this team? We'll talk about what that is on the other side. Let's hope so. It's going to be a long, extremely long season in Tuscaloosa. We'll be back on the other side to keep the conversation rolling.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. You're traveling north on Highway 69 from Old Greensboro Road to Skyland Boulevard. It's a 7-minute drive. And also east on McFarland from Coker to Jack Warner Parkway, a 13-minute drive. Crews are continuing work on Skyland Boulevard from I-359 to Buttermilk Road. Also construction on Old Birmingham Highway from 55th Avenue to Kennedy Mill Road. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Lisa Baque.
Tuscaloosa Oktoberfest, presented by UA Online, has a new home, Government Plaza. Join us Saturday, September 20th from 10 to 4 for authentic German beer and food, live music, the Dachshund Dash, and so much more. Plus, the annual 5K kicks off right in the heart of downtown. Don't miss it. Free entry, cold beer, and great times at Government Plaza. Details at TuscaloosaOktoberfest.com.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, get a king bed for a queen price, plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
If you're looking for a great place to watch the Bama football game, head to Grandstand in Temerson Square. They have a spacious layout with multiple premium flat-screen TVs to watch the game on, pool tables, and dartboards. The restaurant has a variety of American-style food, including bites, burgers, pizzas, and wings. Grandstand is also known for its live music and great drink specials, making it a great spot to catch the game or enjoy a night out with friends. Grandstand, located on 4th Street in Temerson Square, downtown.
Do you have timberland you don't know what to do with? Give North River Timber Company a call. Courtney White and his team of over 20 years experience offer timber harvesting, timber appraisals, comprehensive management plans for that special tract of land that you own. Courtney and his team can help you decide how to maximize your highest potential for your land. Timber is like money in the bank. See what your investment can do for you. Contact Courtney White at 205-242-5127. North River Timber, co@gmail.com. North River Timber Company.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, you knew going in with the quarterback runs, it was going to be a challenge. He did a nice job, I thought, in the first half of keeping some drives alive, even on passing downs, ones that weren't called runs. They did a nice job getting going sideline to sideline. So there are a lot of things with those fly sweeps that, we worked on, prepared for. Guys you get one-on-one, you get in space, and you got to find a way to get them on the ground. You got to, use your leverage, and you got to find ways to trust your buddies around you that they're in pursuit. And they were piecing together first downs. They kept on the field, and they hit the explosive, down the sideline in the first drive. And they're going to make plays too, and I can live with that. But we got to respond, and just coming out in the second half, I thought we settled in other than the one play, and it really felt third quarter going into the fourth quarter. I thought defensively we kind of got our feet underneath of us, had a kind of an idea of what they're really trying, the rhythm of what they do offensively and how we call plays, and they do some funky things with the snap count and all that kind of stuff, and it kind of keeps our guys kind of wondering what's next and not in our own rhythm. I think we got through that after the first half. But then we give them the run, we give them the play, and we kind of let them out with the penalty at the end. The late hit, and we can't live in the gray area. We've talked about that all season long. We can't live in the gray area. It isn't just about that play; it's other things that we got to do. But that certainly adds to it.
All right, Charlie. All right. Wait. This team and staff, Cedric Peterson, this team and staff doesn't seem to learn from their past mistakes and failures. Same offense that beat them last year has continued into this year. Why doesn't the coach and players make adjustments? 5-5 in the last 10 games. Mobile quarterbacks are hurting us, according to Mr. McWright. Mr. Wright, 756, MHS 047 said, let me see what he said. It took DeBoer 1 year and one game to have 4 lost unranked teams. Saban did that in 17 years. And unfortunately, according to Mr. Wright, 756, the blueprint is out on how to beat Bama. We still have not shown that we can stop it. But more importantly than all of that, Nick Bama, Simonelli, I think is how you say that, just no passion. Let's get to Ragged Glory on the Empowerment, Leadership, and People Solutions therapeutic line. What's on your mind, sir?
What's on my mind? Everything that's been discussed so far.
Ragged Glory, stay saved. Stay saved.
Oh, gosh. You know what? And here's what I'm going to bring for us. I'm not going to give a dissertation on what went wrong and what is this. Welcome to the church of what's happening now. It's time to right the ship. We know what we did wrong. We're going to repent and change it. Okay? Let's interject a little optimism, Alabama. Yes, I had expectations that exceeded what was brought to Florida State game. Okay, Caston, how do you? Yeah. You know what? He brought it. Okay, he backed it up. Now, What we need to do is figure out what happened to Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. Where were all of the other packages? And we brought this out on other discussions before. Change it up, because we fell into the same trap we did last year.
Yeah.
But it's okay, because guess what? Never give up, never surrender, no retreat. It's time to regroup, reset, and take the next opponent. Oh, one last thing. Yes, I saw shock in DeBoer's eyes on film, on video, right there. He's like, what? I mean, where is the fire? Where is the emotion? Castellanos, whatever his name was right. Because Nick was always in somebody's face, whether it be a coach or a player. I just saw just a little, peaceful, okay, well, no. Where is the fire? Where is the emotion? Get on your butt and make changes. You know what I mean?
Thanks, Ragged Glory. Hey, K, S3, and X, both of you guys respond to this. We're saying the difference is Saban had the same struggle with this. That's what's so frustrating for me. Is we've seen this horse before. We've seen where this type of offense hurts us. So Saturday was like a deja vu moment where Alabama almost went backwards to not stop that offense. Nick Saban made the adjustments, made the changes, did what he needed to do. Will Kalen DeBoer do that? And will he make a dramatic change to do that? Or will we have to live through it for another year?
Yeah,
and I don't know what that change is.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like where I'm at with it is like I'm thinking on like I don't know if this is like more on a large scale or if this is more minor scale, but like to me this goes far beyond just like mobile quarterbacks. It's like I know people are saying the blueprint is out on Alabama and it's a mobile quarterback. I think the blueprint to beating Alabama is just playing harder than them. I think that's just what it is. Like, I think that's, I mean, yeah, I guess like the common thread between all these teams is a mobile quarterback, but I look at it and I just think these teams are just playing harder. That's like at its core.
But we didn't lose to anybody that was, I mean, we beat the other teams. We beat the teams who were better than us last year, probably.
That was only one game though. And that was only one team that you could say was, I guess if you want to say definitively better, and that was Georgia. That was a miraculous play, but LSU wasn't definitively better than Alabama. I guess they were even. And then the rest of the games were expected wins. But that's kind of
that's my point, is all of our losses were teams that were less than us. So anybody that was as good as us or better, we beat.
Yeah. That's kind of been DeBoer, even going back to Washington. Like he is a really good big game coach, but they had some close calls against some lesser than opponents. So I just think it's just coming back to a consistency thing. But I do think that there's a pathway to right the ship. Obviously, I mean they have the talent, they have all these coaches. It's all there, but it's just I don't see the pathway. Like there is one there, but I just don't know if I can see it just based on what we've seen because there hasn't been anything that will let us know that it's going to be consistent. Like can Alabama go out there and beat Georgia? Yeah, of course. But what's going to happen the week after that? Like I don't think there's going to be a one game or one win that's going to appease the fan base because they know that a loss could be coming right around the corner. So it's like I don't think that they're going to win the fan base back until like January at least, and then that's if Alabama is playing that far into the season.
Yeah, X, I bring it to you, and I do get what Kennington's saying, and I said it last week. I said if we give them confidence early, they can beat us, and that's to your point, Kennington. X, this team doesn't have any rebound. In me, they don't know how to punch back. And now the question becomes, because someone asked me to address DeBoer, is that all coaching, X? What's your thoughts? Is that still there?
I think you're correct. I think there isn't a way to this team doesn't show any bounce back, any fight, and I think it's a mix. We talk about the changing of the culture, the change. The majority of these guys that are touching the field for Alabama still played up under Nick Saban. And
No,
I don't know.
I don't think so, X. There's only a couple guys that played under Saban.
Well, I'm talking whether they were full-time starters on the team, Ty, Proctor,
That's
I'm drawing blanks. So Richard Young, guys like that were on the team. Defensively, it's still a bunch of them. When you look at Deontay, Tim, who's hurt, Braden Hubbard, guys like that are supposed to be the leaders, the face of this team. And I don't know if there's a lost translation between the way that DeVore's not going to be as animated as Saban was. That's not his style. That's not his personality.
Right.
So I think you have to be careful in comparing that aspect of it. There's not many coaches in the game that are as fiery like that on the sideline as Saban. You got your Kirby Smarts. You got your most of the guys that are still like that coaching are tied to Nick Saban. So there's that aspect of it. But they don't have a bounce back, and I don't know how they get that bounce back because you felt like the bounce back came from Saban in the way he was getting your butt on the sideline. So the players got to step up to the plate in this case, in my opinion.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, we hear all the time that the best teams are player-led. That's like a popular buzz phrase. That can't just mean something when you're winning, right? Like, Alabama loses, it's all on DeBoer, it's all Courtney Morgan, it's all the coaches. But I thought best teams were player-led, right? The players are the ones on the field. So they have to be the one to force the issue. Obviously, the coaches have a hand in this, but the players are the ones on the field. Like Bray Hubbard jogging around, that's not Kalen DeBoer, that's not Kane Womack, that's Bray Hubbard making the decision to not play as hard as he could. Caden Proctor, I mean, the game that he played, I mean, that's not – DeBoer didn't. That's not DeBoer. That's him, right? So they have to go there and play better.
Think about there was a couple key plays. We had a third down and long. Womack calls a perfect defense. Jefferson comes in and does what we did all last year. Don't get the sack. Not only do he not get the sack, Castellano runs around, gets the first down. Then Damani Jackson hits him out of bounds. Boom, that changes the game. They go down and score. Then you turn around in the fourth quarter and we're trying to get a stop. And James Smith does this. I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, it was just things like that on top of not executing, not having a clear game plan that just kind of made me crazy. Chuck Hunt, you're in on the Empowerment, Leadership, and People Solutions Therapeutic line. What's on your mind?
Good morning on this Labor Day 2025, I'm gonna be brief on here. I watched that game, and I was looking at what Kalen DeBoer is going through now. He's going through the same thing that the coach that beat him went through last year, Mike Norvell, and I was thinking about that across the track from them at Florida A&M, James Cozy, who played on the national championship team with Charlie Ward. By the way, Charlie Ward is men's basketball coach at Florida A&M as well. The Heisman Trophy winner in 1993 and national champion. They were both on the team together. But what happened? Cozy went and lost to Howard University by a field goal this past Saturday. It was on ESPNU, and he's catching it now, just like what the Alabama people are doing with Kalen DeBoer, and they have a donor group there, and people are saying, I don't think you want to go to that meeting. A lot of elderly people, they feed you, but they raise money for things around Florida A&M, and what Kalen DeBoer is going through. Like I said, that's where Mike Norvell was, and what happened when you are an older brand like Alabama and Florida A&M, or if it's Grambling or Notre Dame. I'm thinking about Marcus Freeman. They lost to Miami. They lost a team that's a younger brand, and you know what happened. You might as well get ready for the rumblings. They're going to come, and like you said, Brother Houston, and all you were saying, it's one game, but if you think about it, when you that brand, people are going to be coming after you. I mean, you the coach, because so much is expected.
Absolutely, Chuck, and thanks, Chuck. Yeah, and that's the thing, Kennington. I mean, there's so many things, and we don't have enough time. I may do a little OT today, but long season ahead. Jason Rutledge says I can't foresee any changes. There are all talk over there. I don't think they trust the coaches and believe their process. Caleb and others saw the writing on the wall. Dang. Your thoughts there. And by the way, Ohio State's getting a lot of hype, guys. Ohio State didn't play great, and neither did Texas. Oh, that's at least one good thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can't. That point about the players don't trust the coaches, I can't go for that because if they didn't, then why didn't they transfer?
Why didn't they
Why
stay?
did all these guys come back? Why didn't Damani Jackson and Elton? Why did they just go to the NFL and make millions of dollars if they didn't trust the coaches?
Right.
There's a little too much absolving of the player, and I understand everybody wants to put on the coach. That's perfectly fine, but there is plenty of blame to go around. I don't think in certain cases the players are getting enough of it, so I can't go for they don't trust the scheme and all of these things because they all decided to come back. Nobody transferred after spring practice either, so everybody was bought into this. It just didn't work out. On Saturday, I think. Where I'm at with this team is I just want to see at its core, I just want to see some urgency. I know they're not playing a great team on Saturday, but it really doesn't even matter. I mean, this all goes back to what Nick Saban has said for years and years and years, and it sounded so mundane, but it's like, can we play with energy and be consistent every single week regardless of the opponent? That's where Alabama is at now.
Play to a standard. We have to play
to the standard. So.
We have to play to a standard. And X, is this Bama standard still there? Or are we literally rebuilding, from scratch?
I think we're getting close to building from scratch if we're not already there. The Bama standard. There's a championship winning standard. Coach Bryant had it. Coach Stallings had it. Coach Saban had it. And it doesn't have to look the same as the previous coach, but it has to be a standard that is set of excellence within the program. And is Kalen DeBoer and staff building that? That's the question.
I think the standard is becoming more of a burden than anything else. Like this idea of the standard. A couple of days ago on Friday, Alabama drops the hype video. So they dropped one and it was narrated by Parker Brailsford. And he had a quote in this hype video that said, "Now's the time to get back on the field and show that Alabama is Alabama." It's almost like, are you trying to convince us or are you trying to convince yourselves? Like there's a lot of talk about standard and we're still this and we're still that, and it's like there's like so much energy being put into proving that Alabama is still Alabama, that it feels like it's almost becoming like a hindrance in a way. I feel like you obviously want to keep certain things in place, but it does feel like maybe tearing things down and building it back up might be the way to go. I know that doesn't sound ideal because the season has started, but it just feels like this talk of standard bearing and living up to this and all these comparisons, it's like becoming more of a burden than anything else. It's something to take on as like a positive challenge, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and hey guys, we're up for those who are listening on the live stream app. We're gonna hang around for a little OT. At least I am, and X, and I don't know, Kempton, if you can, we'll hang around because we had a lot of comments that we can't get to. But I want to ask you guys a couple questions on the live. That can go out over the radio airways. Is this Bama team? Could Florida State literally get revenge for Alabama getting in 2 years ago by putting us on the same path that they were put on last year? Could we see the same? Could we be on our way to FSU 2.0 for 2026?
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely go that way for sure. It definitely can go. I think this team is too talented to be that bad, right? When you think about FSU, they were 2-10 last year. I don't think Alabama's going to be that bad. But can Alabama win less than 8 games? Definitely. I mean, that's on the table. Can Alabama make the playoffs? I think that's on the table too. But I definitely think there is a possibility where this thing could bottom out 100%.
X.
Agreed. 2-10, no, but could Alabama be fighting to make a bowl game? Absolutely, if things don't improve and improve in a hurry.
Yeah, if you look ahead, man, I mean, Tennessee, you would think is better than FSU. You think Georgia's better than FSU. You definitely know LSU is better. Auburn has our kryptonite. South Carolina. I mean, there's whoo. there's some rough roads looking ahead, man. But Kennington, I guess can we find can you give our listening audience at least some silver lining? I mean, before we go off the radio airwaves.
There are players on the team who are in leadership positions who played harder. Here's a silver lining. It was not Ty Simpson's fault. Here's a silver lining. There's one. You have, the quarterback played hard. Geno Vandermark was the best offensive lineman on Saturday. Who had that on their bingo card? So I think that's a positive. Jeremy Bernard, positive. That's about all I have, though. I think that there are some guys in leadership positions that played hard that are in positions to right the ship. Ty Simpson, Jeremy Bernard, Geno Vandermark. I think that's where my silver lining comes from. I don't really have any on defense, though. So,
well, I guess the question becomes KS3, but he's the one that's going to be off the field. Talking about Geno, so do you find somewhere else for him? Because I don't think he's going to stay in front of Jordan Roberts. So, hey, it's crazy. The Tide is struggling. We didn't even get to good, bad, and ugly, but I don't know if we talked about a lot of ugly. We'll be back tomorrow on the radio airwaves at 6 a.m. with DC Capstone Report. Hey, I'm Martin Houston. That's Xavier Houston. And that's Kennedy Smith III. We'll be back on tomorrow, but we're also going to stay around for a little Martin Houston show with Martin and Xavier overtime. So jump on over on Facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show, and you can stay in, and we'll get your thoughts and comments. Thank you guys for all that you do. Remember this: trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Hang on for just a little bit, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Coming up on The Game with Ryan Fowler.
Coming up on the Monday edition of The Game, we'll talk to Drew DeArmond. We'll talk to Martin Houston. We're going to recap Alabama's performance against Florida State. We'll get you ready.
Hey, Kennington, you ready? Can you hang around?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to be live in just a moment. All righty. Welcome back in to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. A little OT overtime. We also have Kennedy Smith III on. Guys, I know I kind of facilitated the last part of the show. We have so many comments over on the live stream chat. And I'll throw this out there and then let you guys respond. Ricky Talley said, Womack has to go. This defense is not working. Absolutely no pass rush. Can't stop the run. Players out there jogging around like they in practice. Womack is over his head, only there for the game of being a Bama coach. Take it away. Oh, Kennington.
Yeah. Not a great day. Not a great day for the team. Obviously, not a lot of adjustments. But again, I think the big thing when we're talking about the defense that we have to consider is that, and this was not a thought. It was a slight thought, but now it is coming to the forefront as maybe the biggest concern on this team. The inside linebacker room is a disaster at the moment. Deontay Lawson clearly is not his normal self. Justin Jefferson, not a great game on Saturday to say the least. Mykhiel Green, the moment did look a little big for him as well. And then after them, there's a bunch of guys that just haven't played. So when you talk about the center of the defense and the guys who are supposed to be leading that unit, the defensive line didn't get a lot of great pass rush and a lot of push. But ultimately, it was the linebackers who were out of gaps and not playing physical that I think really hurt Alabama more than anything defensively. So I think, it wasn't a great day for maybe Kane Walker in terms of adjustments in the team. But I think the bigger problem here is that the inside linebacker room is, in my mind, the biggest concern position-wise on the team right now. And I don't know how to improve on that area except to just kind of go through those bumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that, I thought that was going to be the second strongest group. And, Deontay Lawson, he's clearly not at 100%. That knee is still bothering him, not as quick as he has been. And hopefully that improves quickly over the next couple weeks. Justin Jefferson, fast, but not physical. And that was shown a couple times throughout the game. And Hill Green just looked lost. And I saw somebody say, I'd rather see the young guys in there that even if they're making a mistake, it's making a mistake playing fast because you can recover from that.
Well, hey, what was the kid's name that from Germany?
Justin Okoronkwo.
Did you? Yeah.
Balling yesterday.
Did you see him?
Yes, he was playmaker.
I'm like, dude.
Double whammy.
I'm like, dude, that dude like he was shot out of a cannon. I was like, goodness gracious. Oh, yeah. Anyway, sidebar. Sorry. Because you talk about the linebacker room, and that was a guy that left, and he looked like lightning a couple times, man. But anyway, back to this Alabama team. Jason Rutledge said the excuses for Ty were unbearable. They stated he played good based upon his stats. 4 question marks. Stop Bama. As bad as the defense was, they got him stops, and he didn't deliver as a 4th, 5th-year player. Kennington, you said a little different about this wasn't on Ty. What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I don't think he necessarily played well. I thought he played hard.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think he was out there and, engaged and trying to make plays. I think the thing with Ty, if we're giving on the criticism side, these are the same things with him that we saw in the USF game in some moments when he's played in garbage time. The internal clock is not there. It's not where it needs to be. It's also, his energy is a little skittish. Like, the second that there is some type of discomfort in the pocket, he usually bails out. Those are 2 concerning talking points that I'm going to be interested in getting a chance to ask Ryan Grubb about that later today is, the pocket awareness, it didn't seem like it was where it needed to be, and how do you help those things in season. So that's what I'll say about Ty. I mean, I think that the big, the 4th down, there were some moments where he could have made some plays, obviously. But I don't think the coaching staff necessarily helped him out either, though. Like, did any of us think that Ty Simpson was going to go in there and throw it almost 50 times? If someone would have told you that before the game, that Ty Simpson's going to have nearly 50 attempts, how do you think the game would have gone? Exactly how it went. Yeah, not great. So the way the opening script was a masterclass, and then after that, it just seems like it was just no plan offensively. So yeah, Ty wasn't the best, but I think this is a moment. I know I've been kind of like ragging on the players this whole show, but I think this is one of those instances where I think this is a little bit more on the coaching than Ty Simpson. I think if you watch that game, Ty Simpson is not among the top problems on the team right now. 100%. I think that you can name several things that needs to be rectified before we get to Ty Simpson's play. I think when we look at that part of it, there are several times, like late in the game, we knew we were going to go for it on 4th down. Run a play to make fourth down more manageable. Like the play where he scrambled and was half a yard short, if you know you're going to go for it, run a quick little dump pass over the middle, run the ball, get through 4 yards, and then you're in a better position. Because there were several times we were going for it on 4th and 10 and 4th and 7 that it could have been a little closer and a little easier on Ty. Granted, very skittish at times. It's still the issue when the lights come on for him that he bails. And the stat that you asked me about earlier was he had the longest time to throw of any quarterback in the SEC this weekend heading into Sunday.
Yeah, and what he's talking about, Kennington, is there was a stat that came out, average time to throw, and Ty was almost 4 seconds. So that means that there was a lot of times that the O-line held up, but unfortunately, there was a lot of times on 1st and 2nd down. On obvious passing downs, he had no time, and that's the disappointing part. I don't know who keeps hyping. I want the young man to be good, but you can't tell me Caden Proctor missing 2 springs in a row doesn't continue to manifest itself. So that's huge. They were helping. They were helping Wilkin out. They should have been helping Proctor out on the pass rush because he's going to get beat to the inside. All you got to do is give him a jab to the outside and back in, without a doubt. And I'm going to talk more about that as this week goes on. I'm hoping he gets better, but I don't know. We know he'll get better until we play more guys just of that talent like we saw Saturday. And I don't think the next 2 games are going to give us that. Here's the question I have for you guys on the offense. And Kennington, I'm going to ask you and I'll ask DC tomorrow, but most disappointing thing on the offensive side of the ball, what was it?
Caden Proctor, 100%. I mean, we talked about it. We talked about it a lot, at least on this platform. The idea of Caden Proctor is better than the player. And we have been talking a lot about this is the year for him to put it all together. This was a big game for him. Him and Parker Brosford on that offensive line because you know you're down Jalen Roberts, you know you're down Jan Miller, you're going on the road. You need your best offensive lineman to be really good in that game to establish run and keep a new quarterback upright. And I'm looking at the numbers from Pro Football Focus. Caden Proctor, 6 pressures allowed, 1 sack, 2 hits, 3 hurries, 1 penalty. That's not top 10 NFL draft performance. That's not All-American performance. This is like freshman year Caden Proctor performance. So for me, that's the biggest disappointment. I think Ryan Williams is a clear second, maybe even first for some people. He was also not great on Saturday, to say the least. Was he injured beforehand? I don't know. All I know is what I saw on the field, and the product wasn't great. So I think offensively for Alabama, the biggest thing is your best players, your All-Americans, were not that in the game, right? We're talking about, Ty Simpson and those other players who didn't play up to the par, but your best players aren't playing their best. I think that's like the most concerning part is the guys at the top of the roster didn't come to play.
Yeah, Ty's best pass of the day was on the crossing route to Ryan Williams that last year was a touchdown. Hit him right in stride, right in the hands. Over the middle. He catches that ball. He outruns the safety for a touchdown. Totally different game. But X, you had some interesting take on Ryan, from last year.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Ryan's struggles down the stretch, and I feel like a lot of it was put on Jalen Milroe's shoulders. But how many if you really go back and look, when he started to go downhill, which was, I would say, after the Vandy game, how many passes did he drop? Startingly, I really want to go back and look at it, and it's still a continuation. I can think of the Auburn game. We talk about Jalen Milroe threw the interception against Auburn. Well, the play before that, he hit Ryan Williams in stride for what should have been a touchdown drop. It's so many moments like that Ryan had. And now, granted, like you look at the Oklahoma game, he had a couple touchdowns called back on horrible calls or whatever. But for the most part, he was dropping passes down the stretch last year. He started it off the same way Saturday.
Yeah, to answer that question, as this is according to Pro Football Focus, Ryan Williams finished second in the SEC last year in drop passes with 7.
And
I guarantee you every single one of them in the last 5-6 games of the season.
he had 3 Saturday.
Yep.
So that's not that's not good. Good. I'm gonna tell you who my disappointment was. Biggest disappointment was Coach Grubb. I pointed it out. Did you see his last interview where he had a 5-minute? I know you were there.
I was there. Yeah, I was surprised at how quickly the interview. I was surprised how quickly the availability went.
That wasn't just. It wasn't just the availability. It was his responses. He did give you some love. He said, "Hey, that's a great question." But it's like he's frustrated with being in Tuscaloosa. I said this last week before the game. So I'm not jumping on him because of the thing. It's almost like he didn't realize what he was getting into. I mean, I could be wrong, but I was disappointed with the play calling and the creativity. I thought we were going to get some of that Lane Kiffin, Sark, pull it out type of stuff, and we would run. If we do an incomplete pass on first down, we ran it on second down, right up the middle. Anyway, he's my most disappointment.
Yeah, I can definitely go for that, especially because of how he was probably the biggest talking point on the team going into the season.
Yes.
His reassertion to the staff and how it was so seamless, and then DeBoer kind of called his shot on the head coach show on Wednesday. This is probably the most emphatic thing maybe he's ever said as a coach at Alabama, where he said, "Our quarterbacks are getting coached better than anybody in the country." That was like probably the biggest endorsement of Grubb that he could have given. And obviously the game went how it went. So I'm not mad at that because you were expecting some kind of fireworks, and maybe this was a media generated narrative. But it definitely did feel like this whole getting the game back together and putting these two offensive geniuses back together, and they're going to be in this kind of lab cooking some things up, was going to unlock this offense, and it just didn't happen in that way in week 1. So, I'm not mad at that at all. That Grubb might be, the biggest disappointment of all.
Yeah.
Yeah, his play calling, I made a post. I just said it wasn't inspiring. It wasn't what had been promised, what had been said was going to be the standard, and it felt vanilla. And early on, when Ty had the confidence, we didn't push the envelope. We didn't press it. We didn't try. It was once we were down, it's like, okay, now we got to open it up. Instead of taking that confidence that you built on that first drive and opening it up after that.
Yeah, it was very disappointing in the play calling. I don't know. It was just weird. But if you go back and look, I think we got inside across the 50, 7 times?
Yes, a lot.
A lot. Yeah. I mean, it was like, okay, we're there, and now we're going to bog down. And to me, that's where I was saying the creativity and the explosive plays. Was that Ty, them not having confidence in Ty? Or is that's Grubb? I mean, it just didn't seem anything like where our guys not getting open. What was going on?
Here's what I'll say about that on the trust point. And I'm not calling for this to happen after one game, but if the lack in trust in Ty is to that degree, you might as well just play Keelan or Austin Mack. Yeah. If you have that little trust in your senior, you might as well just play the young guy and just let him earn his lumps. And maybe that's waving the flag on the season. Who knows? Maybe it'll ignite the offense, but that's just where I'm standing on that particular point. If you have so little trust in your senior, then you might as well just play a young guy.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I would rather Alabama go 8-4, 7-5 this year with Keelan Russell as our starting quarterback than with Ty Simpson as our starting quarterback. And that's no hate towards Ty.
but it's because I know I have Keelan for 2 to 3 more years after this.
Well, and everybody's going to Keelan. Being a
Or
former player,
Austin, either one.
Austin needs to be the guy that gets a chance if he's been second all the time. I mean, we haven't seen this guy in real action, so I'm not ready to go that we go to Keelan per se, but I am at the point where if you don't trust him, I'm not saying there's time for a quarterback change because I was on the Ty Simpson bandwagon, but I'm going to tell you what I saw Saturday that disappointed me the most, Kennington, was that Ty – I thought he was over it, but he literally that what we saw Saturday is the reason he couldn't beat Jalen Allen.
That game was Saban's worst nightmare. That was what he had been afraid of. That the anxiety in the moment was going to be too big, and the mistakes were going to compound, and it was going to affect his confidence. So it did go that way again. I want to give Kai credit because he competed until the end. Like, I don't think that even if he didn't make the best decisions, it felt like he was still very engaged and not checked out, which I think is a positive. But, Saban talked a lot about how everybody around the quarterback has to play well for the quarterback to look good. I don't think that there was a bigger example of that than this game, where the offensive coordinator didn't perform up to the expectations. The offensive line didn't play up to the expectations. You mentioned on the show that you didn't think the running backs played that bad. I would agree with that. They didn't get much of an opportunity, so they can't really help Ty Simpson out. The receiving core was a massive disappointment outside of Jeremy Bernard. So the entire picture didn't look great. And, it's hard to write the whole book on Ty Simpson, but just based on what we saw in that game, it does not look like he's somebody that can elevate the offense, right? Like a Bryce Young, for example, can elevate everybody around him. It does not look like Ty Simpson has that ability. So you really need to play really, really strong complementary football around him. And that just didn't happen on Saturday.
Right.
I agree with
question. Question for y'all.
Go ahead.
2 questions. One, do we realize how important Jalen Milroe's legs were the past couple of years to this team after we saw, because there were several moments that I feel like he would have broke out a run, the 4th down where Ty threw it when he was full tilt, crossing the line of scrimmage is one, and just keeping more plays alive with his legs. And 2, does Kevin Riley move up the depth chart just off of what you saw Saturday, or do you put it more on the offensive line?
I would say on the Milroe point, I think it was a little underrated. Just from the fact that he masked a lot of the offensive line struggles last year and I know that that was a big part of it. But to your point, there were some plays that Milroe would have turned a broken pocket into a touchdown or a first down that weren't those plays on Saturday. I think Alabama fans missed that aspect of it. Kevin Riley did bring some juice, and I feel like he does deserve to get some more opportunities. How many opportunities is that even though, right? Like how many times is, what does more opportunities mean? Does that mean going from 3 carries to 6 carries? It just depends on how much Alabama is committing to running the ball. But I love to see him get some more opportunities. Let's see the run game get some more opportunities, especially to build the confidence of the offensive line, to get them going. I thought it was a great, omen on Saturday that they did that and then kind of went away from it. So that's how I would answer both of those questions.
And when you have an offensive line that doesn't just blow people out, Raleigh is the type of guy you need because he doesn't need a big hole. And that's what we saw Saturday, in my opinion, was the other guys didn't play bad. They just need more help in terms of the blocking. But I'm going to tell you, having played the running back position, you have to get a rhythm. And I don't think we gave any of them a chance to get a rhythm. Did we play too many guys? Did we do the same thing on the defensive line? I guess I didn't, and we'll close after this. On the other side of the ball, Kennington, disappointment. First of all, before you say, Isaiah Horton, I wonder how much his injury hurt the wide receiver flow. I don't know. I know he wasn't always all the way there. Number two, Kendra, we'll flip to the other side of the ball, guys. What was your biggest disappointment there? And did Keenan's absence make that big of a difference?
That big of a difference? Not to me. It did make a huge difference, obviously, but to me, the linebacking core was the biggest disappointment. I mean, Kane Womack said a couple of weeks ago that Deontay Lawson looks like the 2023 version of himself. Those were his words. He said Deontay Lawson looks better than ever. He said he looks. I mean, these are his words. All someone asked him was, "How's his progress coming along?" And Kane Womack, unsolicited, says Deontay Lawson looks like a prime version of himself. That was obviously not true. So that he created an unrealistic expectation off of that, even if our discernment should have told us that Lawson wasn't going to be fully healthy. So that's number one. Justin Jefferson.
He also said Justin Jefferson was built for this defense. Like,
right.
He's the avatar.
Right. So those things, Nakai Hill Green, that was the biggest disappointment to me. And, I guess you have to balance the coach trying to build confidence publicly with also writing checks that they can't cash at the same time. But that was, to me, the biggest disappointment was the inside linebacker room. Tim Keenan would have made a difference, yes. But, what does Tim Keenan mean that FSU runs for half of the yards that they did? I think they ran for 320. Does that mean they run for 115 with Tim Keenan in the game? I don't particularly think so. So I think it was a difference, obviously, but it didn't. That's not why Alabama lost. They lost because, the defense as a whole didn't play great, but the inside linebacker to me is far and ahead the biggest disappointment.
Yeah, I think the defensive line, there was disappointment there, and yeah, Tim Keenan, the hole plugger that he is was missed because we don't have a guy that heavy, or he's a wide body, compared to the other guys that we got in there, and that was obvious. Linebackers were the biggest disappointment to me because of everything that we were told. We were sold a bill of goods. The Deontay comments, the Jefferson comments, and they're not there, and that's why I said play the young guys. At least they'll play full speed. Yeah. I'll take a mistake full speed over, slow to the ball. And Bray Hubbard, man, to me, seniorly, the effort that I saw from him several times was so disappointing with the hype that I had for him.
Yeah. And I'm going to I agree with those things, but I'm going to throw out Chapman family just jumped in and kind of no pressure on the QB. That was disappointing because we were supposedly going to fix the pass rush, guys.
Yeah. The Wolf position is also in clear focus of what exactly is happening there. Because for the hype that Quay Russo had, and then the Jamarian Latham experiment, which I really haven't been fully bought into, but he's a senior and he's in that position. Yonze Pierre popped the most to me of that group. So there's a lot of uncertainty there as well. I think, just beyond the pass rush, like, you said on the show more on the Justin Jefferson play, it was the fact that there were opportunities there and they just weren't taken advantage of. I think that's kind of the thing here. It's like, even when the pass rush was there, they're not getting the quarterback on the ground, which is a huge problem last year. So we're seeing the same problems last year reoccurring again this year, and that doesn't show development. I think that's like the point that he was trying to make there. And I think that's like the biggest concern is that we're not seeing development year over year in the system.
Yeah. And CW just jumped on. He jumped on here in the overtime. He said, we were told that OC was the second coming of innovative play calling. The offense was just vanilla and a bad version of it.
Yeah. And I'll say one more thing about the pass rush is you earn the right to do that. And Castellanos only threw the ball 14 times on Saturday.
Yep.
So like how many pass rush opportunities can you realistically expecting 14 dropbacks. I don't have the stats of how many of them were on early downs or must pass downs, etc. But they didn't really have to throw the ball because they were running for like 6 yards a pop. So they didn't really have to be in a situation for Alabama to rush the passer. So I think while it is a concern, it's secondary to the run game and the physicality aspect.
How many times did he pull it down though? So you get into, I mean, he went back to
He probably
pass
dropped back 20 times.
He went back to pass several times and saw an immediate gap. That was Kennington. You know, it looked like it was a couple times. It wasn't a quarterback draw. It was just decisive on his play calling because the receivers were out in the route, and he just pulled it down and took off. I mean, I don't know if that was the case, if they just sold it and made it look so much like the pass, but I know he ran it probably 4 or 5 times where it may have been an actual pass, but he saw we just had too many gaps, I guess. And Kennington, I think Chapman family said they need to put Overton and Keenan inside. What happened? I said this is the last question because I think we could probably go all day, but I guess the question I have for you, Kennington, is what happened to this? We have enough guys that we can run a different scheme and packages. We have to have. If I was playing against Alabama, I'd just come out with the old school run game. We don't know how to play. We don't know how to play the run on the way to the quarterback. It's just I don't know. What can we change schemes? Can we be something that we're not? And if not, what's the result?
Yeah. Yeah, that is an interesting point. It's like there's so much talk about the variation and the things that they can do and the versatility that they do have. It's like, but what is the identity of the defense? Like, what is like the core of the defense? It feels like it's more so just about creating turnovers, which they didn't do on Saturday. But I do wonder about what scheme they can run based on just kind of like what we saw from the personnel. So I don't really know how to answer that question because while there is a lot of talk about variance, I don't even really know what the base foundation of the defense is, right? Because it can't stop the run. I thought the secondary actually didn't play that bad. I mean, the Dijon Lee play probably more so on Womack. Why is 6'5" Dijon Lee on Squirrel White, who can just kind of run wide passing? Why was he not, just following Deuce Robinson around? So I think, that's more so on the coaching. But, I don't really know about how they kind of like put the scheme back together, but I would push, I'm not really a fan of like all the talk of the variance and all these things that they can do when they can't even do like the basic things right.
All right. Oh man, OT has been great. Thanks all the callers. I mean, all of the viewers that jumped in. For those who are just jumping over, CW, thanks for CW told me my audio was bad earlier in the program. And part of that was my mic switched, and I don't know that until somebody points it out. My mic switched to the other mic, and so thanks for giving that heads up. Anytime we can improve, we're all about feedback and getting better. Is this Alabama coaching staff about feedback and making the adjustment? We haven't seen it yet. That's what the frustration is. Kennington, tell them where they can find you, man.
Yeah, on Twitter/X at @SkinnyKenny _ SKINNYKENNY. I will be at the press conference today. Trying to get some questions in, so follow along there.
All right. Hey, that's Xavier. I'm Martin. That's Kennedy Smith III. This has been the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier OT edition. We won't do it necessarily every day, but we'll do it when it makes sense. Thanks to all of you who jump in on the live stream. I want to make sure you're getting what you pay for. Anyway, it's been great. We'll have DC Capstone Report at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Hey, like, follow, and share. best way to stay connected to everything that we talk about is to follow us on Facebook at The Martin Houston Show. The Martin Houston Show is where you can find us on Facebook. Like, follow, and share there. Appreciate you guys. Roll Tide. We'll catch you on tomorrow.